Now can check? Now? Right, fine. Okay. So let's start. Revision, audit and assurance paper. So first of all, they're doing a marathon later. So Monday, Tuesday, I think Thursday. Those days I'll cover 100% questions and I'll show you the exam paper. Right. So today, the entire syllabus I'm going to discuss within 3 hours or 4 hours. Entire syllabus means in the sense of how each area going to be tested in your paper. Right. You take last 10 years past paper, how each and every topic going to be tested. Right. That I'm going to give. So that is exactly your paper. Right. Definitely your paper falls within that category only. So let's discuss that entire syllabus exams questions. Right. How it can be tested, how you should write answers, all those things we'll discuss today. Is that fine? And if you need any specific areas, let me know that I can take next Saturday. Right. Marathon, I'm going to focus on the questions. Okay. So if I take your syllabus, right, your syllabus is divided into 2 categories. One is external audit, the other one is internal audit. And if I take external audit, the external audit, your syllabus falls under 3 categories. One is planning stage. Sir, is there any tubes? What I am writing is the tube. Okay. So I'll write everything, just copy. Okay. This is the tube. So planning stage, performance stage, and reporting stage. These are 3 stages of your audit. External audit, there are 3 stages, planning stage, performance stage, and reporting stage. And if I take planning stage, your syllabus include assurance engagement. I hope you might study this, right? For your final exam, this topic can be tested for maximum 1 or 2 marks, right? So don't give much priority for this. Before 1 or 2 days exam, just go through some simple. And rules and regulation. This is also planning stage. What is rules, what is regulation, how it's applied, right? So rules means in the sense here they discussed about Companies Act, how Companies Act influence audit profession, right? So and regulation means they primarily focus on International Federation of Accountants and international standards on auditing. Those are the ISA and ISQC, International Standards on Auditing and International Standards on Quality Control. Those are the regulations. How these two, which means ISA and ISQC, and also Companies Act, how influence audit profession, that is explained in this chapter. Third one is corporate governance. UK corporate governance, you might study, a bit important topic. And ethics, very, very important topic. For your section 8 10 marks confirm, right? Therefore, you should focus on ethics. I'll teach you how this area is going to be tested and how it's going to be examinable in your final paper, right? Thereafter, if I take audit risk, 20 marks question, right? It is almost confirmed question. Audit risk is almost confirmed, right? ISA 300 standard, that is planning, and also ISA 315 standard, understanding the business organization, and ISA 320 standard, materiality standard, right? These are the 3 standards that you should apply here on audit risk. ISA 300 planning, ISA 320 materiality, ISA 315 understanding business entity. And also we need to apply ARP also, analytical review procedures, when we are doing audit risk question. So ARP, analytical review procedures, ISA 520, that is also incorporated within the audit risk. I'll take audit risk in detail and I'll teach you how this can be tested in your final exam, how the rest of the days you need to prepare for audit risk. Okay, right. Next one. After audit risk, audit planning. After audit risk, audit planning. Under audit planning, you might study a standard called ISA 300, overall audit strategy document and audit program or audit plan, right? Then you might study ISA 330, that is interim audit and final audit. And you might study ISA 240, that is responsibilities of fraud, auditor's responsibility, management responsibility, what is fraud and what is a fraud procedure. If the fraud is detected, what procedure you should do. If the fraud is suspected, what procedures you should do, and how you going to report the fraud, right? What is the process? All these things you might study under ISA 240. And ISA 250 also you might study, that is called non-compliance, reporting non-compliance to management. So that is ISA 250. Under that you might study direct law, indirect law, compliance, and possible non-compliance. Yes. And the non-compliance, how you going to report, right? And auditor's responsibility over non-compliance, management responsibility over non-compliance. All these things you might discuss under ISA 250. And in the under audit planning, you might study ISA 230, that is about audit documentation, purpose of audit documentation, planning of audit documentation, current file, permanent file, benefits of audit documentation, custody of audit documentation, and the working paper, papers contents, and why those contents are included in those working papers. All these things you might study under ISA 230 standard. So then you might study another standard called ISA 220, which is very, very important. ISA 220 speaks about quality control. There are two types of quality controls you might study. One is management quality control, or else I can say individual quality control or firm level quality control. Together we call quality management framework, right? So you might study leadership, ethics, acceptance, human resource, and direction, review and supervision, right? Performance and monitoring. This is very important. I'll tell you how this is going to be tested, right? So these are the standards which comes under planning. So out of your external audit topic, Lamai, under planning, these topics are tested. These topics are tested. For your final exam, I can say out of 100 marks, 40 to 45 marks tested for planning area. Out of 100 marks, 40 to 45 marks tested for planning area. Did you all study all these things? Except quality control, everything is covered. Quality control will income. You are part-time student to full-time. Now I understand. Just I give a map where we are, what you should do, and you should classify this in this manner. Then you can prioritize. Right. So what I said here, understand. Sometimes you might not familiar with the numbers. So ISA 300 is audit planning. ISA 330 is interim audit and final audit. ISA 240 is fraud. ISA 250 is compliance. ISA 230 is documentation. ISA 220 is quality. Now I understood. Students, speak. Now then, let's move to performing stage. Before that, just copy this. Because this is the framework for revision. So when you see this framework, it's easy to understand, okay, what much of effort I should put. I will break this into further, right? I will take these topics into detail and we'll discuss with you today. Don't worry, right? But it's your duty to have a clear picture about the audit. Copy. Lamai, what I'm communicating understandable? Is that fine? Yes or no? Isa means okay. When you are studying, you studied in terms of the chapters or So, what type of section C can they test? Don't worry as well. End of the day, you will understand your complete paper. Don't worry. Right? I'll detail it. Right. By 12:30, you will get answer for you. ISA 300. ISA 300 is planning. ISA 330 is interim and final audit. ISA 240 is fraud. ISA 250 is compliance. ISA 230 is documentation. ISA 220 is quality. Now, Lamai, let's move to performance stage. Now, Lamai, let's move to performance. Sir, should we read a technical article for each of the standards? There is no technical article for each of the standards. I'll give you the list of technical articles that you should read. Go and read those technical articles. That is enough. Okay. I'll tell you the name of technical articles. Right. Don't worry, audit is an easy paper if you know the question in advance and if you know how to write it. Okay. Performance stage today, it's like this. Evidence. Did you study evidence? Under evidence, ISA 500 standard. ISA 500 standard speaks about sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. Then ISA 610 standard. Direct assistance, relying the work of internal audit. ISA 620, management expert. ISA 405. What is ISA 405? So you didn't study in terms of standards, just the name. Okay. ISA 405 is service organization, relying the work of service organization, type 1 report, type 2 report. Right? No, not it. So this is service organization. After that, today, important area, test of control. Today I'll teach you test of control, how it's going to be tested. Then substantive procedures, disaster topic. How many of you all feel substantive procedures comfortable? Substantive procedure is very easy. Is there anyone like that? Substantive procedures, very comfortable. Right. For audit, 99.9% students, they feel substantive procedures difficult. For you, is it difficult? Okay. The substantive procedures number is like this. If you feel it is too easy, it is also a problem, which means you don't have lack of, that's called lack of knowledge. If you feel too difficult, it is also a problem. Fine. I'll teach you substantive procedure, how it's going to be tested, what are the questions possible, how you should prepare. Right. So that we'll discuss today. No worries. So this comes under reporting stage. In your reporting stage, another 40%. Another 40% marks come from your performance. Copy this. No reporting stage. Reporting stage. Just I am giving this to check to what extent you covered. Okay. Reporting stage, Lamai, completion and review. Did you study this topic? A topic called completion and review. Under completion and review, Lamai, ISA 560. Did you study ISA 560 subsequent event, active duty, passive duty, and active duty period? What sort of procedures you should perform? Right. And passive duty, auditor's responsibility, active duty, which means year end to audit report signed. What is auditor's responsibility? Audit report signed to financial statement issued to management. What is auditor's responsibility? Financial statement issued to management to financial statement published in the AGM. What is auditor's responsibility? All those things you study. And procedures over subsequent event. All these things comes under ISA 560, that is subsequent events. That is subsequent events. Then Lamai ISA 570. ISA 570. Did you study ISA 570? Going concern. What is going concern? Going concern indicators, going concern procedures, management responsibility over going concern, auditor's responsibility over the going concern. If the going concern issue arises in the financial statement, what is the impact of audit report? Right. So this is going concern. Then ISA 580. Did you study ISA 580? Written representation. Right, reliability of written representation, the ways of obtaining written representation. If the management is not giving written representation, what auditors should do, right? So that is written representation. Then ISA 450. ISA 450. What is ISA 450? Misstatements. Factual misstatement, judgmental misstatement, and projected misstatement. There are 3 types of misstatement. And overall review. Auditor should request management to identify and rectify all the misstatement, whether material or immaterial, they should request. Right? If management refused to amend the material misstatement, audit report get modified, audit opinion get modified. If management refused to amend immaterial misstatement, still it won't affect the financials much. Right? So those things are explained by ISA 450. There is a technical article over ISA 450 misstatement. Please read it. There was a technical article about misstatements. In the technical article is published 3 years before, right? For all audit and assurance students and advanced audit and assurance students. So go through with that. All these things comes under completion and review, right? Then report, audit report. ISA 700 speaks about the format. Did you study audit report format? And ISA 701. ISA 705, key audit meta paragraph, emphasize of meta paragraph, other meta paragraph. ISA 710, other information. Other information. Did you study other information in the audit report? Did you ISA 710, other information? Then Lamai ISA 260 and 265. ISA 260 and 265, communicating deficiencies to charge with governance. Communicating deficiencies to charge with government. Governance. This you might study under test of controls also. You might study again under reporting, because key audit meta paragraph comes. The matters be communicated to charge with governance. So the standard is 260 and 265. 260 and 265. So in your final exam, solid 10 marks from this. Right? So, am I too fast? Am I too fast? Because when I teach, yes, when I teach theory, I'll be bit more. Right, I'll be very slow, right? But revision, so I want to do things in within 4 hours. So anyway, fine. I'll do it soon. Now then, this is your syllabus. If you are doing, if you are following Study Hub, there are chapters number 26 chapters. If you are following Kaplan, this is your chapter number 1. This is your chapter number 2. This is your chapter, this is your chapter number 3. And this is your chapter number 4. Chapter number 5. Chapter 6. Chapter 7. Chapter 8. Chapter 9. Chapter 10. Chapter 11. Chapter 12. There are 12 chapters. This is your audit syllabus. This is your audit syllabus. So what I am trying to tell you is, out of your 100 marks today, majority of the marks comes under external. Majority of the marks comes under what topic? External. That external audit also, your syllabus is divided into planning area, performance area, reporting area. When you are studying, you should divide your syllabus into three. How many hours per day you are studying? Let's say 12 hours. Per day 12 hours? No. 8 hours? Okay, make it 9 hours then. Okay, 8 hours. 8 hours you should split 40% to planning area, 40% to performance area, 10% to reporting area. Right. Today I am studying audit risk. Tomorrow entire day I am studying audit reporting. No point. So divide your day into this equation. 40, 40, 10 or 40, 40, 20. Is that clear? For that knowledge only I shared the syllabus. So this is how your syllabus look like. This is how your syllabus look like. Don't give equal priority to each chapters. Is that clear? Is that clear? Am I understood? Copy this. Copy this. Now, last Saturday, who teaches the answer? He took to the class, right? Right. Now they so is there any tute? My God. Damai, today what I am writing here is the tute. Right. Normally in my class, certain things I will put in my tute, certain things I won't put. Right. By the materials, the resource, no, by the way. Right. So certain things I will ask students to write because that comes through the experience and the exposure. I do not want to put in the tute. Then it will goes to everywhere. Everyone can do the same. Right. Therefore, what I am writing here is your tute. Write it down and practice. Okay. Fine. Now, Uday, I'll divide your exam paper into section A and section B. Now, I am moving to section B. In your section B, Uday, I divide your section B into three types of questions. I divide your section B into three types of questions. Three types. Right, section B questions, there's question number 1, question 2, question 3, all those things I can discuss later. The section B questions, there are three types of questions possible. One is theory questions. I can say 5% chance from this area. Right, what are the topics comes under theory area? One is internal audit. One is internal audit. And the internal audit, examiner might ask, what is value for money? What are the services provided by internal audit? What are services provided by internal audit? Okay. So internal control, fraud investigation, compliance, IT audit, management audit, best value, value for money, right? So all these audits are performed by, assignments are performed by internal auditors. Another question may be possible, what is the difference between internal audit and external audit? Right. Another question possible, how to evaluate effective internal audit function? Right. Before relying on the work of internal auditors, ISA 610, there are several factors we need to consider. One of the factors is whether internal audit function is effective or not. How you ensure internal audit function is effective? Very simple, whether internal auditors are qualified or not. Normally qualification is not required. If qualified means effective. Check corporate governance, whether the entity is complying with corporate governance requirements or not. If the entity is complying with corporate governance, internal auditors are comes under audit committee. Then it is effective. Check who decides the scope, whether audit committee decides the scope or management decides the scope. If management is decides the scope, problem. And check whether internal auditors are employees or outsourced. Outsourced means to some extent effective. and check whether the recommendation made by internal auditors are implemented, actioned by audit committee or not. Right. So all those factors we can ensure whether audit function is effective or not. Right. So internal audit theory questions possible. Assurance engagement theory questions possible. Theory questions, during my marathon, I'll give you the question. For each and every chapters, I can give you question. Those are the questions tested in last 20 years past. Right. For every chapter, the theory questions, what I mentioned here, I'll give you examinable questions during marathon. For example, there are 7 questions for internal audit. There are 8 questions for assurance engagement. Likewise, there are predetermined questions. That goes to examiner's question bank. Examiner have a limit of questions that he can test in the audit. That's why less theory questions. Right. So I can give you 100% theory questions possible from all these areas. So if you prepare for that, definitely you will get one of those questions. Right. So assurance engagement, simply he can ask, what is assurance engagement? What is assurance engagement? The question is, define the term assurance engagement. What is the answer that you got? Chapter number 1, assurance engagement. Audit, don't try to buy heart. Try to understand. It's very simple. Are you single or married or engaged? Single. The term matters. The word engaged means you are moving to a legal relationship. Engagement means, that's why we call engagement ring. So engagement means it's a contract, legally valid contract. I got engaged, got married. Got married and got engaged, both are same in legal person. Because engagement means it's a legally valid contract. So between auditor and the client, there is a contract. That contract is in the form of engagement. That's why the letter we call engagement letter. Marriage certificate, engagement letter. Engagement letter is a contract between auditor and the client. That's why we call it is legally valid, because contract have 4 characteristics like low paper. There should be an offer, there should be an acceptance, there should be an intention to create legal relationship and consideration. Yes or no? Intention to create legal relation is matter. So if you have relationship with someone, that relationship is illegal relationship. Why? Because in front of legality, it is no longer valid. The intention to create legal relationship was not there. But in between me and my wife, the relationship is legally valid because it's an engagement. So here also, one party is expect assurance. Assurance means confidence. Another party is providing assurance. So the party who provide assurance, the party who expect assurance, between these two parties, there is a contract. That contract we call engagement. It's a written contract. That's why ISA 210, we signed what? Engagement letter. Is that clear? So assurance engagement has certain elements. Three-party relationship, subject matter, suitable criteria, sufficient and appropriate evidence, and written report. These are the 5 characteristics that we can see in the assurance engagement. Yes or no? Simple. Next one, theory area, rules and regulations. Rules and regulations. Theory area, rules and regulations. All these theory areas, I feel this time may be tested for 5 marks maximum. Right. Rules, what is rules and what is regulation? Simply, it's something imposed by government is rule. Other than government is regulation. Okay, good. So here in your syllabus, rules are Companies Act, regulations are, I could say, ISA, right, quality standards. 4th theoretical area is ethics. Under ethics, code, conflict of interest, threats, confidentiality. Ethics is an application area. I'll come to application area separately, but theoretical area is this. These are theory questions. These are theory questions. Theory questions only this much. Now you might come and ask questions, sir, audit planning, audit evidence, there are theory questions. That is not theory questions. Those are standard questions. So second category, standard questions. Standard questions means what? ISA. I am talking about auditing standards. Standard questions. Right? There is a high chance of standard related questions. These are theory questions. You can just by heart. Right? But the problem is, most of you all assume standard question and theory question both are same. Not same. Not same. Because this classification is very much important to understand the standard knowledge. Because if you have clear standard knowledge, it helps you to identify problems in the reporting questions. It helps you to identify issues in the audit report, audit risk calls. How many of you have planned to do advanced audit assurance? No. Right. If anyone who needs to do advanced audit and assurance, this classification method. You got my point? Good. Rifki will meet again. Right. Uday, first copy this, then I'll move to standard. Don't worry, for each and every chapter, I'll discuss questions, theory questions. The marathon I'll give you a material, questions. Standard questions, Ramai. First one, ISA 210, engagement letter. Under engagement letter, what is engagement letter? What is the purpose of engagement letter? What are the components included in the engagement letter? Which situation engagement letter get revised? What are the conditions to be satisfied before you accept a new client? Before accepting a new client, what sort of matters you should consider? Before accepting a new client, what sort of factors you need to consider? Accepting a client is a risky decision. It is similar to accepting a husband or wife, a life partner to you. Risky decision. So if you're going to get married, you are accepting someone to your life. It's a very risky decision. How much of effort that you should put before you accepting someone as your life partner? It's a relationship based, assurance based engagement. Same. There are proper due diligence matter. Proper due diligence matter. ISA 210 standard give clear guidelines. Don't just accept. It is not a business. If you are running a shop, if a new customer comes, you are happy. But if you are running an audit firm, if a new customer is coming, it's a risk. You know why? Money laundering, fraud. Therefore, you need to comply ISA 210. Number one is money laundering, you should check. Fee, you should check. Resources, you should check. Independence, you should check. Reputation of the management, you should take. Professional clearance, you should check. Precondition, you should check. Competency, you should check. All these are matters. ISA 210. 210. Second standard is ISA 230. Sorry, ISA 220. Quality management. Did you study quality management? Important topic. Quality management? No. Quality management? Theory? Did you study? No, no problem. The marathon class, I'll take the standard question. Quality questions I'll do. There is a reason past paper questions I am observing. Quality issues, professional issues. Two verbs examiner is asking recently. It's good because those question forms are verbs are there in advanced audit and assurance earlier. Now examiner is putting those terms in the skills level also. I am happy. Right. So quality issues and professional issues. These two verbs I'll teach you in the marathon with the past paper questions. And I'll clearly tell you how to read the question, how to write the answer, how to think. Right. So if I give the structure, follow that structure, you can score full marks. Then Pute, ISA 230, that is documentation possible. ISA 240, mark it as important, fraud. Auditor's responsibility, management responsibility, definitely tested, repeatedly tested in the past. ISA 250, compliance, this is also repeatedly tested, standard based question. ISA 405, about service organizations. Did you study using the work of others? Did you study using the work of others? There are three types of reliance, Pute. One is relying the work of expert, management expert and auditor's expert. Number two is relying the work of internal audit. Number three is direct assistance. Number four is relying the work of service organization. So relying the work of service organization, for example, PPIM, our, let's say, accounting works are outsourced to third party organization. Our accounting work is outsourced to third party organization. If a third party organization is doing accounts, right, auditor cannot rely on Shuhaib, who is accountant here, because he don't have data. Who is having data? Third party organization. So it's my duty to work with third party. I should work with what? Third party organization. That third party organization is service organization. Service organization test of control method. If their control environment is strong, risk of material misstatement is low. If their control environment is weak, risk of material misstatement is high. Therefore, I should perform test of control for third party organization, service organization. For that, I ask two types of report. One is type 1 report, type 2 report. That is from whom I am asking? Service organizations auditor. I ask service organizations auditor to provide type 1 report, type 2 report. Is that clear? What is type 1 report? Whether control exists or not. Type 1 report, whether controls exist or not. Type 2 report, whether controls are effective or not. Whether controls are effective or not. For example, here is CCTV camera. Control exists or not? Control exists. If it is not working, control is effective or not? Not effective. So type 1, type 2 report we request from service organizations auditor to provide. Is that clear? Next standard Pute, ISA 500, mark it as important, sufficient appropriate evidence. Sufficient appropriate audit evidence. Lamai, I just give a content part. For this standard questions also I do in the marathon. So what I am trying to tell you is what I am going to do in the marathon and what I am going to do in the class. Marathon is free for everyone. Therefore, mostly my marathon areas, theory question and standard questions I cover. Saturday class paid students. For them, third category. Is that clear? Next to them, ISA 505. Marathon class is Monday 1:30 to 6:30, Tuesday 1:30 to 6:30, Thursday 1:30 to 6:30. 3 days, Monday, Tuesday and Thursday. Sir, what is the third category you are talking about? I'll tell you, wait. Case study questions. Case study questions. Right. Maybe 70% of your syllabus. Question paper. Azmat understood? You might study most of the case study questions. 19th May, yes. Actually, I supposed to start last week. Last week I'm not well. The answer did a handful of case studies. Yes, that's why I told you. You might need more case study questions. I'll shape it. I'll tell you how to develop your answer. Right? Can get, no worries. Right? I know that you practice questions, case study questions, but I'll shape it out. I'll shape it out how to standardize. So is the marathon important for the paid classes for a person with limited time? Yes, exactly. Those 3 days is equals to 3 months. That's why I'm not putting full days. I could say like, okay, I'll tell you one thing. If you feel like working or any other obstacles, go to YouTube and there is a 9-hour marathon session which I did. So it's there. Entire syllabus I cover. Exam perspective. So you can there is a way to write it. So if you know that, it's easy. Right. ISA 505 did you study? Confirmation. Circularization, positive circularization, negative circularization, that is also meant. ISA 560, subsequent events. ISA 570, going concern. ISA 580, written representation. Those who already practice question, feel very comfortable, just continue your work, no problem. Right. ISA 450, misstatements. Right, I'll do. ISA 710, other information. So if you look at past papers, ISA 705, key audit method, emphasis of method. If you look at past paper questions, these are the standard questions repeatedly tested. These are the standard questions repeatedly tested. Most of the standard questions are falls within these standards. Third category students, application questions. Application questions. Third category, application questions. Application questions. Application questions are matter. I'll give you the list of application questions so far tested, right? Try to develop your understanding on those things, right? If I take application questions, the first application questions, I'll take it from corporate governance. Corporate governance. Lamai, did you study corporate governance? In corporate governance, you should know how to identify weaknesses and you should know how to provide recommendation. They will give you a scenario. From that scenario, you need to identify the weaknesses and you should provide the recommendation. Are you comfortable with this type of questions? Good, super. Number two, audit planning. Audit planning. So audit planning, there was an application question possible in your exam. Preparation of audit strategy document. Preparation of audit strategy document. Audit strategy document. They will give a scenario. They ask you to prepare audit strategy document. Right? When I see your faces, you didn't practice this question. Go and practice June 2013 or June 2017 past paper questions. If you couldn't find, let me know. I'll put in the group. Third one, ethics. Ethics. I'll explain this a bit now. Okay? Because I know that you might definitely practice. And if I ask a question, sir, ethics, we practiced everything. I'll explain. After that, you respond. Okay. Sir, does the marathon classes get recorded? Yes. Don't worry. If not, if you, how many people need marathon, entire marathon now? I will share the YouTube link. Right. Don't worry. Fine. It gets recorded. If you don't get access, let me know. I'll share. It's in the YouTube. Right. Go to YouTube and type my name and audit and assurance marathon. You will get 9 hours, 15 minutes video. Fine. Now itself you can watch it. Right. Here see ethics. Ethics pute, there are two verbs important. Question verbs. One is, I know that definitely you might practice. What is that? Ethical threats and safeguards. Did you practice? Ethical threats and safeguards. I know that you might practice the enough. Did you practice this question? Ethical risk or ethical issue and safeguard. Did you practice this type of question? We did one in the class. Asmat January batch student. Did I teach ethics to you? Okay, fine. Full-time students. Okay. I'll explain. No? I'll explain. It's matter. These are the two types of questions you should practice. Now you all understood. I'm telling you, okay, this is the things that you should do. Right. Then if you did, no problem. Asmat, you from Mavanam. Correct? Where? Okay. Fourth question, audit risk. This is also you guys might practice like nothing. Yes, right? Now I classify the questions. First one is identify risk and response to risk. Identify risk and response to risk. Number two, perform ARP and identify risk and response to risk. Audit risk, these are the two questions possible. One is they will give you a scenario. They ask you to identify audit risk and response to audit risk. Did you practice that? Number two, they will give you a case study. Along with the case study, they will give you a financial statement extract also. First question, they ask you to perform ARP. Don't get confused. They ask you to calculate ratios. Ratios only ARP. And from the ratio or ARP and case study, they ask you to identify audit risk and response to audit risk. ARP, analytical procedures. Yes. Clear? This time I am expecting to some extent this type of questions also. Therefore, practice both types. Practice both types. Is that clear? Understood? Did Zian sir shared a case study list with you? Audit risk? List of audit risk and response? A table did he give? Right, fine. I'll share a document. Fourth question. Fourth question. Test of controls. Did you practice test of controls? Under test of controls, control strength. They will give you a scenario. They will give you a scenario and ask you to identify control strength. Right? Number two, control weakness. Number two, control weakness and recommendation. I think you might practice this. Did you practice this? Number three, control weakness recommendation and test of control. 3 columns. These are the 3 types of questions. These 3 types of questions, these 3 types of questions tested. Number 1, sales system, purchase system, payroll system, cash and bank system, inventory system, non-current asset system. For these 6 systems are the scenarios. Any 6 systems can be tested. Questions are these 3 types of questions. Did you practice these 6 types of systems with 3 types of questions? Did you practice these 3 types of questions? Great. Super. Fourth one, substantive procedures. How many of you all need some kind of a support for substantive procedures? Be frank. Sir, I need a support for substantive procedures. Better if we can discuss a bit substantive procedures in detail. So all others comfortable. So today I'll take substantive procedures. What about others? All comfortable? Very good. No, lot of prize invested. If you like substantive procedure, you are the prize winner. If you hate substantive procedure, you are the repeater. You know why? Majority of the questions are procedures. 1/3 of the paper. Right. So I'll take that. Don't worry. So substantive procedures, I'll take today. I just write down substantive procedures here. Substantive procedure, I wrote here. I'll take it today in detail. After application question is reporting questions. Did you study reporting questions? Did you all practice reporting questions? So reporting questions for them, implications to audit report. Implications to audit report. This is one question. They will give you a scenario. Rifki full time or part time? Implication to audit report. Implication to audit report means, Pute, examiner will give you a scenario. That scenario includes a misstatement, and that misstatement is not rectified by management. What will be the impact to financial statement or audit report? That is implication to report. Okay. Did you all practice implication to report question? You know how to write answer? How to write answer? Basis for good. I'll give you the answer. Good. Second type of question in the reporting is critical evaluation of audit report. Critical evaluation of audit report. Critical evaluation of audit report means examiner will give you a sample audit report which is prepared by someone, maybe audit senior or someone. And it's your duty to critically evaluate that report. What are the problems in that report? Right. Did you practice questions in this type? June 2018 past paper question. Question number 3, part A, 7 marks. This is the question. Okay. Go and practice that question. I'll do one question in the marathon. Reporting, I'll do questions. Right. For Indian students also, I need to practice few questions from the reporting. So one day in the marathon class, I will discuss reporting. Now students, see, I covered your section B. I covered your section B. Now tell, this is your short notes. Take a printout and paste in your study hall and see whether you covered it. Because your section B falls under these 3 categories. If I am telling marks, 80% here, a 10% here, maybe a 10% here. It's varied. Clear? So can you zoom it to take a screenshot? Techie people, take screenshot. Standard questions. Application questions. Application questions, wait. Application questions. Don't take screenshot with my image. Then don't share in WhatsApp groups also. Right. Are you comfortable with the teaching? What I'm teaching you, are you okay? Fine. Namai, is it fine? Or is it boring? Fine. I'm not like Zian sir. Fine. He's telling so many jokes and stuffs, but I'm very techie. Right. So problem is I don't know how to keep you all engaged. Right. But I share information, tolerate. Okay. Right. Okay. Now, Budhe, let's move to, fine, shall I move to substantive procedures? Heading right down, substantive procedures. So can you please show application note? Right. Fine. Now let me concentrate. Substantive procedures, questions are possible 40 marks maximum. Out of 100, maximum 40 marks. Okay. Therefore, it's important. So I'll start from the beginning. Don't write anything. Right. I'll finish. Then I'll explain. Then you write. Okay. Because you don't know to what extent I'm going to draw things. Most of my explanations are through flowcharts and the connections. Okay. Give me 5 minutes. Huh? First, I'll write. Did the answer gave this flowchart? See, students, I'll start from this first. The entire performance stage I put into a flowchart. This is the journey of auditor's performance, right? First of all, if I'm an auditor, if I get assigned to a client, it's my duty to learn about client environment. That is, we call understanding the business entity. That is what explained by ISA 315 standard. Right. So let's say if I am auditing Sri Lankan Airlines, first of all, I should know Sri Lankan Airlines. Right. For example, A330 flight, how many business class seats? How many types of flights we are using at Sri Lankan Airlines? Types of flights. Who is the supplier who provide aircraft to Sri Lankan Airlines? What model of flight that we are using? Who is giving tech handling to Sri Lankan Airlines in Bandaranaike International Airport? A330 flight, how many engine hours? How many engine hours for A330 flight? If the flying hours more than 5 hours. How much engine hours if the flying hours less than 5 hours? What is mean by IATA? What is mean by One World Alliance? You don't know anything, right? Then how you going to audit Sri Lankan Airlines? So in the performance stage, the very best thing, that's why we go for direct assistance for some cases, because internal auditors know about it. They are employees. Right. So again, I'm asking, but you are not giving the answer. Right. So what I'm telling is, Pute, first of all, it's my duty to understand the business environment. If I'm auditing Kaveri Hospital, sorry, we are Sri Lanka, Lanka Hospital. So if I'm auditing Lanka Hospital, I should know about Lanka. If I'm auditing Manchi, it's my duty to understand Manchi's business environment. Who provide guidelines? ISA 350. After that, it's my duty to understand their controls. Because PPIM's controls are not same as NIBM controls. APIT controls are not same as SLIT controls. Industry might be changed, same. Controls are different. How to develop understanding? Internal control documentation. Did you study internal control documentation? Flow chart, narrative notes, internal control questionnaire, internal control evaluation question. Through that, I should understand the controls. After understanding controls, it's my duty to understand control objective. Control objective. You got my point? Because each and every control, they are trying to meet certain objectives. While I am studying in the university, right, Japura, right, my signature, 10 years before, my signature is this. Effective control or ineffective control? Ineffective control. What about others? When I was a student in the university, my signature is this. Effective control or ineffective control? Very ineffective control. This is why, shall I tell you, this is why most of the students after audit exam, when I ask, sir, what you told, everything came, sir, in the exam. Definitely I will get more than 90. Once results came, what is your marks? 35. This is the only paper where students think that they know everything. They are happy after exam, but they fail. You got my point? It's effective control. Because you can't define a control is effective or not by looking at the control. You should check with the objective. You should check with the objective. Shall I tell you, my objective is, when I sign like this in the university, 80% attendance is mandatory. In the first year itself, I joined with EY. When I was an undergraduate, in the first year itself, I joined with EY to cover my CA articles. So I am not going to university, but I want to do exams. So what I do is, I sign like this, and always my attendance is 100%. Physically, I was not there. No, it's not right. Don't do. Unethical. Right. So I am not in a position to attend the lectures. Someone else is signing for me. What is my objective? Someone else should sign. My objective is satisfied or not? My objective is satisfied or not? So when my control objective is satisfied, my control is effective only. It is effective. So control effective or ineffective, don't decide by looking at the control. Compare the control with the objective. If the objective satisfied, it is effective only. Lamai, you all understood what I am telling? Lamai, understood what I am telling? Here see, now go and check the checkbooks, PPIM, right? When I sign, my signature is this. Now effective or ineffective? Now my objective is no one else should sign. Therefore, Lamai, don't decide a control effective or ineffective by looking at the control. Look the control with the control objective. If you can decide a control whether it is effective or ineffective, if you can just decide whether the control is effective or ineffective by looking at the control, why you are studying about understanding the control objective? So first step is understand the business entity, second step is understand the control, third step is understand the control objective, why such control is placed. After that, perform test of control. What is test of control? Comparing control activity versus control objective. If the control activity is equal to control objective, that test of control is effective control. Control activity is not met control objective, that is ineffective control. This is how we decide controls are effective or ineffective. You might need the control deficiency question, but when you are writing control deficiency, go to the scenario, check controls and check its objective, whether the objective is satisfied or not. If the objectives are not satisfied, it is deficiency. It is deficiency. Understood? Am I understood? If you say like control is deficient, risk of material misstatement is very high. Risk of material misstatement is very high. Why? I am telling control is ineffective means risk of material misstatement is very high. Why? Tell me the reason. More chance of fraud. Audit, you can't use general knowledge. Only standard answer you should. This is one of the difficult paper to teach also. You got my point? You can't just give a general knowledge answers to auditing answers. That's why students' failure rate is high. Shall I argue? See here. Good, Amna, very good, smart. See here. I'll take like this. See here. Did you study something called audit risk? Chances of providing inappropriate opinion. This divided into two. One is risk of material misstatement, two is detection risk. Risk of material misstatement means beyond auditor's control. I can't do anything. Someone else's fault. Right? That divided into two. One is control risk, two is inherent risk. When control is ineffective, risk of material misstatement is high, audit risk is high. That's why I am telling control risk will create risk of material. You got my point? This is client side. This is auditor side. Audit risk. That's why I am telling this risk of material misstatement is high. Therefore, what you should do? You should provide recommendation. Recommendations are requested by whom? ISA 265. This is Pute, concentrate. The yellow color one, the yellow color area only we call test of controls. Whatever the areas I marked, that is we call test of controls. Understood? Understood? Till now what I marked in red color, yellow color, that is we call what? Test of controls. Am I there now? Copied up to that point first. Copied up to that point. Now, Lamai. See, so what is CA and what is CO? CA is chartered account. CA is control activity. CO is control objective. Right. Mobile phone. How many people are using smartphone? Password? Have. We have password. Password is control activity. Why you put password? Privacy. Objective. Right. And if your password is 1234, it fails to meet the objective. Anyone can access. Control is deficient. Understood? Clear? Now, but then, when Asmat understood? Very silent. Class is very, very, very silent. Why? What I am teaching understandable, right? Lamai? What I am teaching understandable. Fine. Okay, Budhe. Now concentrate. When controls are not effective, risk of material misstatement is very high. Risk of material misstatement arise at system level or section level. Two terms are important. System, section. System means control is a system. Purchase system, payroll system, where control attached to a process, that is we call system. So when controls are failure, system only get affected. You got my point? But risk of material misstatement arise at section. Section means financial statement, income statement and balance sheet. Therefore, when control is not effective, risk of material misstatement is very high. That is arise at what level? Financial statement level. So risk of material misstatement arise at what level? Financial statement level. That is we call section. Is that clear? Right. Did you study something called assertions? Assertions? Study it, right? Tell me what is assertion. Don't say cut off and all that. My question, what is mean by assertion? ACCA cover. What is ACCA cover? What is assertion? What is assertion? So if I ask what is elephant, you should say, oh, it's an animal. Black in color. What is assertion? It's very simple, Lamai. See, if a person affected with a fracture in a hand, doctor is asking to take blood report. Is it right or wrong? To confirm fracture, blood report. For fracture, what is the correct method? X-ray. Therefore, it's a verification method. It's a verification method whether your financial statement level misstatement is material or misstated or not. We are not at system level. System level means control objective and control activity. Section level, financial statement level, if there is any misstatement, whether that misstatement is material or not, whether that misstatement is serious or not, that misstatement verification we do with the assertions. All the misstatements are not same. Some misstatements affect income statement, some misstatements affect balance sheet. For example, sales system. If the sales system is not effective, receivables are misstated. Yes or no? Sales misstated. Yes or no? Sales comes under income statement. Receivable comes under balance sheet. Therefore, mostly big receivable balance sheet elements and income statement elements are misstated. You can't verify all using same method. Therefore, if it is an income statement element, income statement assertion should be verified. Balance sheet element, balance sheet assertion should be verified. This process, verifying misstatements at financial statements by checking assertions, we call substantive procedures. You got my point? Don't use the word audit procedure here, it is wrong. What is this? Substantive procedures. What is substantive procedures? The procedures that we perform at financial statement level. After test of control, to check whether financial statements are misstated or not. How to check whether income statement assertions are satisfied or not, balance sheet assertions satisfied. If the misstatement at income statement level, how to identify? Put income statement assertion and see. Yes or no? Day to day life, we do these assertions, verifications. If you are buying honey, bee honey, right? Someone in the roadside, a person, he is selling. You went to Anuradhapura, right? The roadside, one person is selling. Make a penny, right? Me penny, bee honey. How are you going to verify whether it is original or not? By tasting. You should do, first you should open and take the honey, take a cup of water, put into that water and see whether it is original. Verification method. Assertion is that. Verification of income statement elements, the method is income statement verification. Assertion. Verify balance sheet elements, balance sheet assertions. After you verified, we gather evidence. Yes or no? That's why you might study in your audit evidence. Did you study something called sources of audit evidence? Did you study something called sources of audit evidence? How to gather audit evidence? The sources of audit evidence, test of control, substantive procedures. Substantive procedures, test of detail, analytical review procedures. Yes or no? That is the chart I gave you. That is the chart I gave here. See, yellow color, test of control. Green color, substantive procedure. Finally, I end up with the evidence. This is the connection between test of control and substantive. Together, evidence. Understood what is substantive procedures? I didn't teach substantive procedure. I'm just introducing substantive procedures. Substantive procedures are based on the test of controls. The controls are effective, less substantive. The controls are ineffective, more substantive. What is substantive procedure? When risk of material misstatement arise at financial statement level, to assess that misstatement, we need certain verification methods. If it is income statement, verification method is income statement assertion. If it is balance sheet, verification method is balance sheet assertion. By that, I gather evidence. ISA 500. Evidence should be sufficient. Evidence should be appropriate. Understood? Online students, understood? Mark green color area, write down substantive. So what was yellow? Yellow is test of control. I got 10 o'clock. Have I understood what we discussed so far? Is that fine? Fine, let's take a break then. Okay. The session productive? Understood? Lama, is the session productive? Understandable? So let's take a break. Normally, how long Zian sir will give break? Okay, fine. Let's take 20 minutes. Yes, I'll start at 10, now 10 o'clock, right? 10:25. Be here. I'll do substantive procedures in detail. Right. So I have purchased your recording for double A. In any groups. Okay, drop me a text, I'll check. Fine. Now, students, how to write substantive procedures. When you are writing substantive procedures, students, so if the controls are not effective, entity does not have proper controls, we got more assurance by doing more substantive procedures. Instead of more assurance, I can say more evidence. Evidence only giving assurance, not procedures. So if I am doing more substantive procedures, the evidence I am gathering through substantive procedures. By that, the evidence will give but assurance. Okay, see, substantive procedures when you are writing, in your final exam, students, I'm not going to teach substantive procedure from the beginning because you studied. So no point of wasting your time. Substantive procedures tested in your exam in different ways. I'll explain that now. One is, okay, I'll take that combinations now. See here, first question form is substantive procedures over elements of financial statement. Substantive procedures over elements of financial statement. This is one type of question. If you get this type of question, students, you can by heart procedures and write down answer. Normally what you do is, Your lecturer might give a list of procedures to you all. You by heart procedures and you try to rewrite. If you get this type of question, you can do that. Example, substantive procedures over sales. A financial statement element. A financial statement element. Right. And the verb is substantive procedures. Verb is substantive procedures. Financial statement element. Right. So in this question, if the verb is substantive procedures, you can write test of detail. You can write analytical review procedures. You can write test of detail. You can write analytical review procedures. If the question is substantive procedures over elements of financial statement. This is one type of question. Out of substantive procedures question, this is the most easiest way of substantive procedure questions. Did you practice questions in this format? Practiced. Yes, obviously. Second question verb, audit procedures over financial statement element. So here the question verb is audit procedures. Here the question verb is audit procedures and financial statement element. Now the verb is not substantive procedure. Now the verb is audit procedure. What to write? Did you practice questions on this format? When they ask audit procedures, you can write test of control procedures and substantive procedures. Substantive procedures, you can write test of detail and analytical review procedures. So technically, you can write analytical review procedures, you can write test of detail, you can write test of control. All three you can write. All three you can write. Example, audit procedures over sales. So you can write sales system procedures, or whether it is authorized, whether it is sequentially numbered, all those things. Is that clear? Very comfortable question if you get this. Third one, question verb is because you should know these verbs, because when you see the verb called procedures, you can just think all are substantive procedures. No, verb matters. Third one, some past papers there are question substantive analytical procedures, substantive analytical procedures over financial statement element. So substantive verb is substantive analytical procedures. Verb is substantive analytical procedures. Verb is substantive analytical procedures, but financial statement element. If you get the verb substantive analytical procedures, only ARP you can write. Only ARP you can write. Analytical review procedures. Example, substantive analytical procedures over sales. These question verbs are different. Only ARP, which means compare current year sales with previous year sales, compare current year sales with budgeted sales, compare gross profit margin for current year to previous year to investigate the variance, right? Only ARP you can write. These 3 question verbs understood? So far fine? These 3 types of question verbs. What is ARP? ARP is analytical review procedures. ARP is analytical review procedures. TOD is test of detail. TOC is test of control. SP is substantive procedures. This is substantive procedures comforts. What's test of detail? Okay. Okay, I'll explain. Don't worry. What is OSP? Rifki, what is OSP? Other substantive procedures. See, I'll explain. Wait. I'll explain. Wait. Evidence. ISA 500. Audit evidence standard said the evidence need to be sufficient and appropriate. Is that correct? To gather sufficient and appropriate evidence, we are gathering from sources of evidence. So sources of evidence, how we can collect evidence? One is test of controls. Test of controls means I apply, concentrate, audit procedures over system to check whether control activity equal control objective or control activity not equal control objective. This is we call test of control. Is that clear? Is that clear? Test of controls understood. Test of controls also audit procedures, right? There is only one special procedure which comes under test of control is CAT. When controls are IT based, we use CAT as a procedure, right? Now, second way of gathering audit evidence, substantive procedures. Second way of gathering audit evidence, substantive procedures. So, substantive procedures, 2 types. One is testing detail. You can say other substantive procedures. Test of detail. A detailed verification of test. It's like this. Substantive procedures means not always everything we are testing in detail. Let's say if you get a flu, immediately you go to a hospital or immediately you go to a dispensary next to you, a doctor next to you. That doctor will not treat to a cause. If you go and that fellow will ask, then you have to tell fever, that paining, this paining, and all these symptoms you are telling. For that symptoms, okay. He gets and he will give medicine for 5 days. That is called analytical review procedures. We are not finding out the problem. Based on the relationships and all, based on the persuasive information, we just treat, comparing current last figure to guess. It's a kind of a guess. It is not a detailed test. Why we are doing that? Because detailed test is time consuming, detailed test is expensive. For a flu, immediately I can't go and get admitted at Lanka hospital. So I'm meeting a doctor nearby me house. So that fellow is giving 5 days medicine. No improvements. Now I'll go to hospital. That consultant will not listen and just give medicine. That fellow will ask, go and take that report, this report, 5-6 reports he will write. I should take that report. Based on the report, he will identify, this is the cause. Now medicine. That fellow will do a test of detail. So normally substantive procedures, after test of control, immediately I am not testing thing detail. After test of control, let's say there are 10 risk of material misstatement items. First, I will see for what are the items I can perform ARP. What are the items When control risk is low, I can perform ARP. When things are less subjective estimate, I can go for ARP. So I try to do more ARP. When risk is very high, when subjective estimate is very high, then only I go for test of detail. Now you all understood? So therefore, substantive procedures are ARP and test of detail. Test of detail means inspect, observe, recalculate, reperform, inquiry, confirmation. All these procedures I apply over financial statements elements to verify assertion. That is called test of detail. That is we call test of detail. ARP means what? Number one, trend. Comparing last year to this year over the period of time. Number two, ratios. Calculating gross profit margin current year and previous year. Number three, reasonableness test. Reasonableness test. I am applying my judgment to test whether it is reasonable or not. All these are not detailed verification. Is that clear? Now you all understood, Lambi. This is how our substantive procedures work. Is that clear? Test of detail. Test of detail, you can use the verb other procedures. But generally, after test of control, I perform ARP. After that only I perform test of detail. After that only I perform test of detail. Is that clear? Copy this. So should we use the exact words of those test of details in the exam questions? You mean the procedures? Inspect, observation, recalculate, those words you are telling. Is that what you are asking? Yes, audit procedures. No, it's like this. In the exam, students, when it comes to ARP, the procedure is hidden. Right. Test of detail, certain procedures, when you read, you can understand what type of procedures it is. Right. For example, instead of inspect, if you read some procedures, they might say agree to trial. Agree to trial balance means it's a kind of a what? Inspection. So not exactly you need to write, but the reader should be able to understand, okay, this procedure only you did, you wrote in a way, but I should understand it is inspection. I should understand it is observation. Right? So like we study, all this, but we did not categorize like this. That's right, correct. So don't find a difference in audit risk response, substantive procedures questions. They both same. It's both same. Still you ask Basil, still you ask this question. Okay, I'll give you one more flow. He is asking, it is a good question, right? His question. Sir, I wrote response to audit risk. That is also procedure. I find same as substantive procedure. I'll come to you. Right, I'll do one more flow chart. Right. Yes. Done? Copied? Still I didn't complete substantive procedures question. No? Only easy portion I completed. Right. But still you have asked questions. So I'll come to Bashil's question. Procedures are not always substantive procedures. Keep that in your mind. Procedures are not always substantive procedures. Procedures, the way auditor gather audit evidence. What is procedure means? The way auditor gather audit evidence. Actually, we use procedures, inspect, observation, recalculation, those procedures we perform all around the audit. From start to end, we do. Best example is ARP. Risk assessment, we did ARP, yes or no? Substantive procedures also we did ARP, yes or no? Reporting also we did ARP, yes or no? So procedures are not only for substantive stage. It is not only for performance stage. It is throughout the audit we do procedures, but different names. So planning stage also we apply procedures. Performance stage also we apply procedures. Reporting stage also we apply procedures. Planning stage also we apply procedures. Performing stage also we apply procedures. Reporting stage also we apply procedures. Planning stage, the procedure we applied, we call planning procedures. Also we call preliminary analytical ARP review procedures. You got my point. Example, risk response. Example, risk response. This is we call preliminary procedures, planning procedures. Performance stage also we perform procedures. That is test of control. It's a procedure. Test of control is a procedure. Right. And substantive procedures. Substantive procedures. Substantive procedures are performed at performance stage only. We are not performing substantive procedure at planning stage. But it is also a procedure. Substantive procedures include test of detail and analytical review procedures. Reporting stage also we perform procedures. Reporting stage also we perform procedures. Reporting stage, the procedures we call finalization procedure. Finalization procedures or completion procedures. Example, final ARP. Final ARP. At the finalization, you say final ARP, final analytical review procedures. Normally, finalization stage, we are not performing test of detail. We don't have enough time to do that. That's why, because it's closer to reporting. That's why we do final ARP. Therefore, if I take the concept procedure I do throughout the audit. Don't misunderstood procedure means it's only substantive. Substantive procedure and procedure differ. Bilal, understood. Therefore, the risk response is also procedure only. Bilal, understood. It is like instead of different names, I can say different stages. All are same. Instead of different name, I can say the exact word is different stages. If you are doing a procedure, same procedure, when it comes to system, it is test of control. Same procedure, when it comes to financial statement after system verification, it is substantive procedure. When it comes to before audit report sign, it is final procedure. When it comes to planning stage, it is planning procedure. Is that clear? Copy this. That is 2013 past paper question. What is definition of analytical review procedure? What are the stages analytical review procedures are performed? What are the types of analytical review procedures? And what are the methods of analytical review procedures? I'll give answer for all three. First one, what is analytical review procedure? Identifying plausible relationship between financial and non-financial statements, variables. It is like a doctor is treating patient by looking at the symptom. Identifying plausible relationship between financial and non-financial elements. So it's a relationship analysis, like correlationship regression analysis. Right. For example, sales increasing, cost of sales decreasing. Misstatement is possible. Fixed cost is remain constant, but when you draw a trend curve, fixed cost is like ECG report, the trend is subject to misstatement. It's a relationship analysis. There are three types of ARP. What are the three types of ARP? Comparing current figure with the previous figure. Comparing current figure with the actual figure. Comparing current figure with the industry figure. Compare the current figure with the previous figure. Compare the current figure with the budgeted figure. Compare the current figure with the industry figure. These are the three types of ARP. I'll come, Osman. Wait. I'll come to that. That is not a type. Type of ARP is three. Comparing current figure with the previous figure, comparing current figure with the budgeted figure, comparing current figure with the industry figure. These are the three types of ARP. Third one, ARP methods. What are the methods we used in the ARP? One is trend analysis. Two is ratio analysis. Three is reasonableness test. These are the three methods. And ARP is a procedure we do throughout the audit. Planning stage example is risk assessment. Planning stage, all these given in your tutor. Yes, chapter number 6, audit risk. Under audit risk, page number 4th page. 4th page, 3rd paragraph. So, risk assessment is planning procedure. Performance stage ARP we call substantive procedure. Performance stage ARP we call substantive procedure. Reporting stage ARP we call final analytical review procedure. Final analytical review procedure. For that entire past paper question, I gave answer. Right? 3 parts in that past paper. Where you find that question? Video. So it's a June 2013 past paper. Right. Fine. Now clear? Did I give answers to your questions? Why risk procedure is similar to substantive procedure? Because both are procedures. Bilal, all sorted? Right. Now, let's move to the substantive procedure questions. These 3 questions are easy questions. Easy means to some extent you can by heart and do. So 50% of substantive procedure mark allocated to this. Most, let's say in a paper Examiner tested substantive procedures for 40 marks. A 20 marks question is fixed. So don't get panic. Substantive procedure is not a disaster. Half of substantive procedure only disaster. Half you can do. Therefore, the lecturer's materials just go through practice question and develops a set of procedures that you can do to some extent. Now, Pute, let's move to fourth one. Fourth one. Sir, could you show what's your screen? You mean this one? Okay, take a screenshot. Why am I too fast? Fine, right? Okay. Now we'll take question number 4. Question number 4. It's like this. The verb is substantive procedures. The verb is substantive procedures over specific assertion of financial statement element. Here the problem is specific assertion. I don't know how many of you have practiced substantive procedure questions. 2018 June past paper, right? There was a question. I'll give that question now. I did one. I think yes, you might did that question, right? Receivable balance, but you should verify only rights and obligation. Rights and obligation is an assertion, yes or no? It's a balance sheet assertion. Receivable is a balance sheet element. Only you should verify rights and obligation. Second question, I'm giving the exact past paper. Second one, you should ensure completeness. Third one, you should ensure valuation, allocation, and accuracy. All three are balance sheet assertion. A receivable balance. It's a past paper question, I think June 2018. This type of question, specific assertion is possible. Then you can't write whatever the procedures you know. Only specific procedure you should. Is that clear? Is that clear? Okay, now I'll give you 2 minutes time. I'll give you 2 minutes time. Write down one procedure for rights and obligation. I'll give 2 minutes time. Write only one procedure for rights and obligation. Think and type. How many of you have practiced questions in this form? You should. This time you should. Because last time past paper, pass rate is very good last time. Few pass rates are good because last time I think my pass rate is 60 to 70%. Right. The global pass rate also good, 40% to 42%. Right. Normally audit pass rate is 39-37%. This time only it's go beyond 40. So I expect this time paper will be moderate. Therefore prepare for this. Important. Try out one procedure for rights. Okay. But Asmat, I'll criticize a bit. It's not wrong. I'll give marks, but not full marks. Invoice is not an ownership document. Customer contract is the ownership document. Ensure in accordance with IFRS 15. Students, can you send messages to everyone? Is that option there? Can you send messages to everyone? Yes, no. Therefore, when you are typing answers, Lamai, when you are typing answers, please make it visible to everyone. Help them to help others to pass. You can see the things now. Therefore, please make it everyone. No? Right. Ensure in accordance with IFRS 15, the company have recognized revenue with five criteria are satisfied. That is wrong for rights and obligations. That is wrong for rights and obligations. I could say that is presentation, maybe completeness. Exactly, husband, correct. Most of you all are facing a problem when it comes to substantive procedure. Shall I tell you what? What to test that you don't. Another example, most of the procedures when they are writing for cutoff, they use the word sales invoice. See, like last 5 sales invoice, first 5 sales invoice. Sales invoice is wrong because that is not appropriate. Okay, good dispatch. So, what is the problem most of the time? Okay, for that only I ask you to practice. Others, rights and obligation. I don't one procedure. I'll give one procedure. Normally, when you are looking at these rights and obligation or other assertions, Lamai, try to check the real meaning of it. Try to check the real meaning of it. Right? Why rights and obligation is comes under the balance sheet assertion? I'll tell you the reason also. The reason is balance sheet include assets equals capital plus liability. Basic accounting equation is asset equals liability. That's why all the assets are verified through the word rights. All the liabilities are verified through the words obligation. You got my point. Sometimes you might ask how you are telling asset is equal to liability. Asset is equal to liability. Why? Business entity concept. F3. Owner is different from the business. Therefore, capital is also special kind of liability. That's why in your balance sheet, capital and liability is recorded together. Right? How many of you all know that basic accounting equation is asset plus liability? Now, right? So you should know these things. Right? Now, asset as per IAS 1 standard, the definition of the asset is it's a resource controlled by the entity which bring economic benefits to the organization. Right? Economic benefit. You got my point what I'm saying? The word control as per IAS 1 is different from the word control as per IFRS 10, consolidation. Consolidation control is different meaning. But here control is different meaning. What is control? IAS 1 clearly said when there is a legal ownership or substance over form, that is control. IAS 1 asset control means what? Legal ownership or substance of. Therefore, receivable is a resource controlled by an entity, meaning the legal ownership of that receivable is with whom? The entity. Substance over form is with the entity. These are the two ways to check the control. That's what I should verify through substantive procedure. You got my point? Only right. No obligation for receivables. How to check that control? How to check the control? Simple. I should talk to management and ask whether management did any factoring arrangement. What is factoring? Did you study FN? Factoring. What is factoring? Selling receivable to outside company. Selling receivable to outside company. You are selling what? You are selling the legal ownership. You are selling the legal ownership. Take factoring and write down the answer for rights. The point where you are selling the right. Yes or no? Yes or no? Factoring means I am selling my receivable rights to a third party company. I am selling my control to third party company. Yes or no? Another way, I need money. I need to borrow money from bank. I can keep my receivable as security. I can keep my receivable as security. Yes or no? I am transferring that control to bank. If I didn't pay, bank have right to collect the money from the receiver. Yes or no? And credit customers only receivables, not cash customers. Credit customers, under test of control, you might study how to register credit customer. If you want credit, you should submit an application to the company, credit application. That goes to credit rating agency. They do a background check and they will recommend the credit limit to sales director. Sales director will decide the credit limit. Then you sign a contract, customer contract. Terms and conditions are there. Go and investigate that, because that is the document where the ownership control transfers. So you should understand these things, then only you should write the procedures. Yes or no? Instead of that, if you do a range analysis, you are verifying valuation. If you are getting a invoice, you are getting the valuation, completeness or whatever. Here the question is right. Here the question is control. Here the question is legal ownership was substance. Explanation understood. How to plan substantive procedure, they explain. After my explanation understood. I didn't expect you to write these things. I'm just asking. After my explanation, understood or not? Write down first procedure. Therefore, don't just by heart and rewrite. Try to understand the question. Number one, write down. Discuss with management. Discuss with management. Sir, but shouldn't we have been able to write a correct answer, considering it's only 2 weeks prior? Now, it's my duty to shape your answers only. I'm not telling definitely you will get only this type of substantive procedures. What you prepared is more than enough. It's my duty to push you to price. That's all. You got my point? Learn and update yourself. That's all. Right? I'm not telling the previous procedures will not be tested. Everything will be tested. It's not, that's why I told you did everything, you practiced everything, you prepared everything. Now I am shaping you to push you another 5-10 marks up. So what you did, continue, no problem, but learn how to shape your answers. Suppose if you get this, think the way that I did, then it is easy. It does not mean what you prepared invalid. No, valid, everything is valid. So that's why actually I took at the last moment at least to push that another 5-10 marks. Right. So don't misunderstand. Asmatji, what you did, continue. But I think I didn't prepare enough. Shall I tell you one more thing? Shall I tell you one more thing? If you feel what you prepared is not enough, if you feel like this, I will give you a reply. After my explanation, things are understandable. Things are understandable. Are you feeling comfortable? How long you are studying on it? 3 months. Maybe 6 months. Others. But I'm teaching on it 15 years. Your batch, maybe if I take this batch, it is 73rd batch. 73rd batch. To teach entire audit, I no need a single material. The questions, answers, explanations, everything 100% it is met. Right. So without a single material, a piece of paper is enough. Just I want to write it. What I'm telling is my thinking and my analysis and my answers, my way of guidance is at 100%. What I believe. So you can go for a world prize also. What I expect is 50% of it. What I expect is what? 50% of it. I teach 100%. I expect 50%. You got my point what I'm saying? So, Fareen sir can think like this, why we can't? Fareen sir can analyze the case like this, why we can't? You can't. Because you are preparing just for 2.5 months. I prepared for 15 years. Therefore, now you should not compare yourself with me and I didn't prepare. No. Your level, you prepared enough. Why? What I'm trying to do is, I'm pushing you little up. You understood what I'm telling you? Therefore, what you prepared is enough to pass. Technically, you practice question, but I'm just shaping you. Those who wants to shine in this paper, it's my duty to uplift them. Is that clear? So hereafter, most of the problems are resolved. You know why? Because completely we are shifting from 6 months to 3 months. So then I can take a complete batch audit. Hereafter, all the complete audit batches, I will take 3 months because 3 months means I can take. So what I'm telling here is don't get that panic. More than enough. Now I'm shaping you. In the marathon also, I'll try to do that. As a last time preparation, that speed up your process. That speed up your process. What you did is more than enough. Is that clear? Understood? Mental stability matters. Shall I tell you one more thing? Compare the students who teach full time. Those people also in the same category. When I discuss the question, sir, you teach only, but we can't think like that. No, you can't only because it's fair enough. Fair enough. Within 2.5 months, can you think this the definition part and all to this extent? But I'll teach you in a way to appreciate it. That's is that clear? Now they write down first point what I said. Discuss with management. Discuss with management whether they arranged any factoring arrangement with third party organizations See here I didn't mention any assertions. Normally when we are writing substantive procedures, if you see the assertions might be notified to verify completeness, to verify rights and all. I didn't mention. Reason, it's a specific assertion question. They ask us to test rights and obligation. Why I should tell again I verify rights. So if you read here, the point is factoring, where the ownership matters, selling the country. So substantive procedures are simple if you understood and right. You got my point. There are few relationships I'll teach you today. There are few relationships. If you know those relationships, it is easy. Is that clear? For ownership related documents only I explained. One is customer contract. 2 is factoring. 3 is what I said. Bank security. This knowledge is required. If you know this knowledge, then you can write the procedure. Right? Second point, right now. Get correspondence from bank. Get correspondence from bank. Get correspondence from bank. Get correspondence from bank. To confirm whether receivables are used as a security for any borrowings. Used as a security for any borrowings. I'll give you one more procedure for the same thing right now. Review loan contracts. Review loan contracts Matira, Matira, I'll come to that point. I'll come to that. It is wrong. I'll tell you. Students, I'll teach you certain relationships. Then you can understand. I'll tell you. It is wrong. Huh? What I said? Review loan contracts, terms and conditions. Review loan contracts, terms and conditions to verify to verify receivables used as security. Receivables used as security. Yes, correct. But shall I tell you one more thing? Don't try to generalize things for adult. Shall I tell you why? Here, she is asking one question. Sir, the same thing I can use for property, plant and equipment also. Now I can explain a bit. The conversation become too extended now, right? So I don't know whether I can able to complete before 12:30 because I need to discuss more questions. Is it fine if I go up to 1? So I'll take the point. So she is telling, sir, can I use the same thing for property, plant and equipment? Shall I tell you? Property, plant and equipment is IAS 16 standard. So IAS 1 standard defines the word asset. When an asset that is controlled by the entity, no, right? The control is legal ownership, then only you can recognize under IAS 16. You understood what I'm saying? Substance over form means you can't say recognize under IAS 16. For example, lease asset. Lease asset also asset, but it comes under IFRS 16. So only asset which have legal ownership, then only it goes to IAS 16. But receivable, either legal ownership or substance over form, it comes under recognized as asset. So when you are doing asset, you should check only legal documents. You understood what I am telling? Substance over form, you can't verify. Therefore, to teach audit, you should know what standards also, accounting standards. Get connected. Right, now clear? Now students, third procedure, writes an application. Third or fourth? Fourth, right now. Inspect sample of credit customer contracts. Inspect sample of credit customer contract to ensure rights transferred to entity. Rights transferred to entity. Rights transferred to entity. The terms important. If you didn't pay these things, you can control. Right. Now you will understood I am only verifying rights here. Is that clear? There are few questions. One student, she's asking, sir, if we send a confirmation statement to get a confirmation from the customer, is it rights and obligation? No. I'll tell you, confirmation, you can send a confirmation, positive confirmation or negative confirmation. You can send to customers. When you are sending a confirmation, confirmation ensure two assertions. One is valuation. One is valuation. Confirmation again when valuation is confirm. Year-end receivable is receivable. Valuation. One assertion is valuation through confirmation. Second assertion is, what is the second assertion? Existence. So valuation and existence are the assertions satisfied under confirmation. Is that clear? Understood? Do I understood? Mithara, understood? Is that clear? So confirmation, we are trying to achieve what? Existence and valuation. So can you explain the fourth point? What is fourth point? You mean the procedure? Simply, let's say Bilal, Basil. Basil, it's like this. You are a credit customer. You should sign a contract with the company. I inspect that contract to ensure you are a credit customer. Controlling ability transfer to the company. So simply, I should confirm yourself. Okay, Basil is the receivable. Is that clear? Obvious, correct. See, try to understand existence. I'll tell you one thing. Don't get confused with existence and rights. He's asking, sir, you are telling it is right, but it is existence also. Existence matter, rights matter. Rights forever. January I am signing a contract. Right, you are a receivable. December receivable balance is nil. December receivable balance is nil. There is no receivable balance. Receivable is not exist, but right exists. So existence related to the period. Rights is not like that. But let's say year-end value is also there. Agreement signed in January. Rights exist in January. December there is a receivable balance, which means when I am inspecting that contract, rights also verified, existence also verified. Because year-end also there is a balance. Basil understood. So it does not mean only one procedure is testing one assertion. No, one procedure can test multiple assertions. But try to understand the assertions properly. Why we use existence for balance sheet? Because balance sheet is asset, not year-end. Occurrence for year-end, not asset. Clear? Understood? You mean as with the assertions? You don't know what is income statement assertion, what is balance sheet? The procedures are given as common. Okay, normally we are giving procedures as common, but we mentioned the assertions. But you know, no income statement assertions are occurrence, cutoff, that you don't know. Huh? Fine. Now, students, write down heading assertions. Is it okay if I go up to 1? Problem? Assertions. The assertions are two. Actually, assertions are 3 types. There are 3 types of assertions. In your syllabus, it is only 2 types. One is income statement assertions. One is income statement assertions. 2 is balance sheet assertions. 3 is disclosure assertions. That is not there in your syllabus. If you choose advanced audit and assurance, right? I'll take disclosure, right? No need for you now, right? So I'll go up to then I'll go up to 12:45, right? 1 o'clock if you have it. I have another lecture. Okay, so let's finish it off this. Then you can practice it. Okay, income statement assertions pute cutoff. Cutoff means what? Transactions are recorded in the correct accounting period, right? For this we do cutoff test. Okay. Number 2, occurrence. Transactions are actually occurred on occurrence. Number 3, completeness. Number 3, completeness. Number 4, classification. Number 4, classification. Number 5, presentation. Number 5, presentation. Number 6, accuracy. Number 6, accuracy. These are income statement assertions. So all these assertions need to be satisfied to verify there is no misstatements in the income statements. Is that clear? Understood? Balance sheet assertions. Number 1, rights and obligation. Number 2, existence. Number 3, completeness. Number 4, classification. Number 5, presentation. Number 6, accuracy, valuation, and allocation. Accuracy, valuation, and allocation. Now sorted? I'll do more questions in the substantive procedure during marathon. I'll do more questions. Right? Now then, let me concentrate. Now, the same question, receivable, valuation, allocation, and accuracy. Write down one procedure. Same receivable, valuation, allocation, accuracy. Write down one procedure. You can perform confirmation, no problem. I got one procedure from this student. I don't know who. Confirmation is one procedure. Age analysis, receivable age analysis, that is also valuation. Receivable age analysis is also valuation. One more procedure you already wrote in the audit risk. For credit risk, what is the response? Post year end cash receipt test, that is also valuation. So when there is a valuation, think balance at the year end is right. 2, age analysis, because bad debt, doubtful debt will affect the valuation. Third one, post year end cash receipt test. Subsequent settlement, exactly. Subsequent settlement. Right, don't by heart procedure. Try to think in this way. It helps you to identify the procedures. Right, so write it down. Number 1, valuation allocation. Valuation allocation, write down number 1. Select a sample of year-end receivables. Select a sample of year-end receivables. Perform post year-end cash receipt test. Perform post year-end cash receipt test. To confirm, now don't finish like this. To confirm valuation, allocation, accuracy, then your answer is not that strong because specific assertion they ask. To confirm year-end receivable is recoverable. To confirm year-end receivable is recoverable. Year-end receivable is what? Recoverable. Understood? Students understood? Is that clear? And also you can review age analysis also. That is a common procedure, so I am not giving multiple procedures for that. Right? Shall we move to the third assertion called completeness? Now think and write one procedure for completeness. Think and write one procedure for completeness. Sir, can we use reducible circularization? Yes, Bashir, you can use. Correct. Completeness. Think and write one procedure for completeness. Shall I tell you how to think completeness? Whatever income statement or balance sheet completeness means, always take two things to check complete. You got my point? Understood? You should take two things, then only you can say complete or not. You didn't understand? Shall I teach you? Okay. Did you all study something called directional testing? Under substantive procedure? Directional testing. Okay. Now let's take Bashil as an example. Bashil is in a relationship with someone. Now he wants to communicate this to his father. Bashil, will you directly communicate to father or you communicate through mother or sister to father? Assume your mother is a very cool person. Your father is a rough person, fine, character. Normally what we do? Now Bashil is approaching home, the comfort zone people. It is easy to approach. Through that, he tried to approach father. Yes or no? Fine. Directional testing is like that. Every transaction has double entry. Yes or no? For credit sales, what is the double entry? Credit sales, what is the double entry? Debtor debit, sales credit. Directional testing means like how Bashil approached his father, not directly, indirectly he is approaching. Likewise, directional testing means instead of testing receivable, I am testing credit sales. Directional testing means what? Instead of testing receivable, I am not testing sales. I am testing what? Credit sales. Because sales include both cash sales and credit sales. I am testing credit sales. That is we call directional testing. That is we call directional testing. Is that clear? That's why sometime for receivable, when you read substantive procedures in the Kaplan material, they gave procedures cut off. They gave procedures cut off, but cut off is an income statement procedure. Why they gave cut off? Actually, they are not testing cut off of receivable. They are testing cut off of what? Credit sales. This is we call what? Directional testing. Don't get confused in that. Right. So most of the completeness assertion we satisfied through that. Right. Concentrate. Now students, concentrate. I'll tell you some relationships. All these relationships are helpful to write more procedures. Did you study sales system? Did you study sales system? Sales system start with, I am starting with sales system. If any procedures related to a system, sales related to system, payable related to system, purchase related to system, non-current asset related to system, Cash and bank related to system. All are system, right? System related things. Any system, right? Example, I'll take sales system. These are relationships. Order received. Order received. Then goods dispatched. Goods dispatched. Yes or no? Invoice raised. Recorded in ledger. Yes or no? Cash received. When it comes to record in the ledger, concentrate. Now I am teaching accounting. There are three types of ledgers. General ledger, purchase ledger, sales ledger. Can you remember? So one entry goes to sales ledger. If you are not using control account, another goes to general ledger. Yes or no? If you are using control account, both debits and credit, both entry goes to general ledger. Is that clear? Understood? Right. Now I'll tell you the relationship. The relationship is, if you are testing left to right, it is completeness. If you are testing right to left, it is occurrence. You got my point? Say my procedure. Now see my procedure. I'm writing a procedure in this way. Select a sample of order. Concentrate. Select a sample of sales order. Agree to good dispatch. Agree to sales invoice to confirm completeness. Completeness, I told you, it's a comparison. Completeness, left to right relationship. This procedure I can write for receivable also. Why? Directional testing. Select a sample of individual sales ledger balance. Agree to receivable ledger control account to confirm what? Completeness. Left to right. Sales ledger control account balance. Agree to trial balance. After that, only no trial balance. Left to right. Completeness. If you know this relationship, simply you can write 5-6 procedures. I tell you, not only for sales, not only for receivable, whatever the matters comes under 5-6 systems what we studied, the relationship is same. Purchase relationship same. Payable relationship same. Now I am coming reverse, left to right. Select the sample of sales invoice, agree to good dispatch note, agree to sales order to confirm. To confirm, you understood. When you study relationship way, no need to buy heart procedures. No need to buy heart procedures. Understood? Am I understood? This is not only for sales. All different system but you study, this relationship is same. Copy it. So can you please repeat? I'll repeat it. First copy that. Copied. I'll repeat. I'll start from the. Sir, I think you didn't show previous one. This one. This one. Azmat. Copy. Copy this one. I'll give time down. So can you move on to the next? Okay, this one. These are relationships. If you are doing substantive procedure question, students, definitely there is an impact from test of control. Therefore, try to merge together and study. It's very easy. Substantive procedure is not a magic. If you know the relationships. Now then, see, there are different systems we studied in your test of control. Sales system, purchase system, payroll system, cash and bank system, inventory system, non-current asset system. Majority of the financial statement covered by this system. All these systems, if you are testing left to right means you are starting from the left side to right side. See, order received, concentrate. Selecting a sample of sales order, agree to good dispatchment. Those two enough. I told you two things are compared. Select a sample of sales order to good dispatchment. What you are trying to do here? Verify the completeness. So left to right, if you test for all these systems, it ensure completeness. Bashil understood. Now you might ask a question, sir, it's a sales system, no, but we are writing procedures for receivable. For receivable, you can write sales system related thing, reason, that is we call directional testing. Because some students, normally self-study students, they come and ask, sir, cutoff is a income statement element. See, mistakenly Kaplan put cutoff to receivable. Right? Not mistakenly, it is a directional test. I'll tell you one more thing. In your MCQ, if any directional test given, it's a wrong answer. Now, there are MCQ questions. In the MCQs, they might ask what is the exact substantive procedures. They might give cutoff for receivable. It is a wrong answer. You can't apply this directional testing for section A. Keep that in your mind. Is that clear? Now I am testing left to right. Select a sample of good dispatch, trace to sales order. That is we call occurrence. Is that clear? Understood? Shall I tell you another relationship within the same thing? Shall I tell you another relationship? If it is income statement element, it is occurrence. Suppose if you are doing the same thing for balance, occurrence is an income statement or receivable, you can't confirm occurrence now. Receivable means it is existent. If it is a balance sheet element, it is existent. If it is a balance sheet element, it is existent. Completeness you can, right? Income statement also completeness, balance sheet also completeness, no problem. Directional test you can do. But occurrence is not only income statement. That you can't check for balance sheet. But for balance sheet, but you can check existence. So only one explanation. How many procedures you can write? Is that clear, Lamai? Understood? Copy this. There are a few more relationships I'll teach you later. Right. So directional test understood. This one understood. Rights of receivable understood. Year-end receivable understood. Valuation understood. Now, now concentrate. How many questions I gave? 4, right? Fifth question. Still I am teaching substantive procedures questions. How can be tested in the exam? No? Right. Now write down number 5. Number 5. So you are teaching only for audit portions, right? Not advanced audit and assurance. See, you all have a doubt like that. See, one student is asking whether you are teaching procedures only for audit portions or you are taking advanced audit also. I know clear about it. Right. Don't think that I will take things from advanced audit. Right. 100% confirm I won't take. Right. Understood? Why I should put you in trouble? Right. I am trying to simplify as much as possible in a way, but you should pass. Right. I know the scope. I will not cross the boundaries. I'll take audit to advanced. I will never take advanced audit to audit. If I take that 16 become 2 within 5 minutes. First 4 questions, take it. Trust me, if you have a doubt, I'll give my advanced audit and assurance access. Right, watch those videos. Then you can differentiate. Okay. How many people want to do advanced audit? No one. No one. Anyone who wants to do advanced audit? No one. I'll meet you again. Now, Uday, concentrate. Number 5. Okay. Number 5. This is Lamai. Earlier, before 2017, this type of questions you can't find in your audit and assurance paper, substantive procedures. Only you can find this type of questions in the advanced audit and assurance paper. After 2018 past papers, examiners slowly taking those questions from advanced audit to here. So this procedure, old past papers you can't find. New past paper, there are a lot of questions on this basis. Right? What is the question? It is like this. Verb can be audit procedures or substantive procedures. Right? Normally it's audit procedures. Audit procedures over scenario based misstatements. Audit procedures over scenario based misstatements. These misstatements can be possible misstatements or these misstatements can be confirmed misstatements. Audit risk, you might study this. Under audit risk, you might study this. Right? Under audit risk, you might study this. I'll tell you what is possible misstatement and what is confirmed misstatement. Okay? With a possible misstatement means 2018 June past paper. Did you practice a question, audit risk question called Mila? Minty? Huh? So in that question case study, if you look at the first paragraph, the second line, first paragraph is about introduction. After that, the second paragraph, second line, they started management reviewed useful life of the asset. Management reviewed useful life of the asset and depreciation rates. Yes, sir. So management allowed to revise useful life. It is allowed. IAS, they changes in accounting policies and estimate to enhance the reliability. It is permitted to do. IAS 16 property, plant and equipment. Initially you should recognize cost. Subsequently you should recognize cost or revaluation model. When it comes to IAS 16, revision to useful life, revision to depreciation method, revision to depreciation rate is allowed. It is allowed. But why you are doing is method. Why you are doing is method. If you are doing that in order to enhance the reliability of financial statement, valid point. If you are revising in order to overstate profits to achieve bonus profit target, in that paragraph, same question, if you look at the last paragraph, second line, finance director, that means they revise the bonus scheme based on what? Profit. So if they revise bonus scheme based on the profit, there is a high chance, okay, they do these things to achieve profit. Then it is wrong. These type of misstatements we call possible misstatements. It is not confirmed. Most of the audit risk questions are possible misstatement. You know why? Because risk is uncertain. If it is a confirmed misstatement, it is not risk. Risk is uncertain. Can happen, cannot happen. Possible misstatement is also uncertain. Can happen, cannot happen. That's why it is risk. So, audit procedures also, sometimes they might give you possible misstatements. Sometimes they might give you confirmed mistake. Research cost capitalized. Research cost capitalized. Confirmed misstatement or possible misstatement. Confirmed. IAS 38. IAS 38 intangible asset standard clearly said internally generated intangibles you can't recognize in the financial statement. Purchased intangible with definite useful life you can go for amortized model. If the useful life is specific, when you are commencing amortization, the point where economic benefits started to derive, from that point onwards you can start commence amortization. If that useful life is indefinite, if the useful life unable to identify, but purchased intangible means annual impairment review is mandatory. Revaluation model you should be used, and you should perform annual impairment review every year. IAS 36 will be applicable there. Is that clear? Research cost should charge to income statement. Shall I ask you one question? Why research cost should charge to income statement? Research should be expensed. My question, why? People teach reporting. People teach, anyone can teach accounting, very simple. But only few people explain the rationale. Why research cost cannot transfer to balance sheet? Why research cost should be expensed? Some cost. Why research cost? Product development, you might study in your, exactly. In your PM, you might study life cycle costing. Life cycle costing begins with the development stage. Research cost incurred before development stage. Research cost incurred before development stage. You don't know whether it is marketable or not. Once the research is completed, you get a product. That product should be developed. COVID vaccine. Formula is the product. That formula should be converted into vaccine. Then only it's a product developed. So development comes after the success of the research. Research is the early stages of the product life cycle. Definition of the asset. Definition of the asset. What is the definition? Asset is a resource. Research failed to generate the resource. Research consumed resource. It is not converted into product. Then only it's a resource. Controlled by the entity. We can't control at the research stage because we don't know the outcome. Bring future economic benefits. We don't know. Sometimes it might be a failure. These three characteristics of an asset fails at research stage. So you can't recognize it as an asset. Yes or no? Number two, second reason, materiality concept and prudence concept. If there is any expenses, recognize early. If there is an income, recognize once it is certain. Example, IAS 37 contingent asset. Virtually certain means you can recognize receivable debit, income credit. Prudent concept, you can't recognize. These are the reasons why we are not recognizing research cost, charge to income statement. So research cost should charge to income statement. Confirm statement. Understood? Therefore, this type of audit procedures are standard based audit procedures. IAS, IFRS method. If you get a question this type, you can't think assertions much. You should think standards. You should think standard. Without standard knowledge, you can't write procedure. Now you might ask a question. So, substantive procedures we are performing through the assertion, no? But here we are not testing assertion most of the time. We are checking standards. Right. I'll give you answer for that. Fine. If you want to go to Kandy, from Colombo to Kandy Road, one way. Colombo to Kurnagal Highway through that Kandy, second way. Yes or no? There are multiple routes to reach the same destination. One route is assertion, check direct assertion and verify. Second route is compliance of the standard, through that verify. Third route is test of control, control effective, verified. When control is effective, we are not testing much, yes or no? That's why test of control is effective means less substantive procedure. Control effective means assertions are satisfied automatically. Standard complied means assertions are satisfied automatically. Substantive procedures we are verifying. All three ways we are verifying. This is one of the way for verification. When accountant prepare financial statement in line with the standard, automatically assertion satisfied. My job role is simplified. No need to check in detail because everything is correct. Cutoff is there because IFRS 15 revenue standard satisfied, performance obligation satisfied, at that point recognize revenue. Performance obligation satisfied over the period of time, deferred income. Cutoff met. Yes or no? IAS 2 inventory, valuation, first in first out method, weighted average method, periodic weighted average method, continuous weighted average method. Accountant is not using last in first out method because it is prohibited by IAS 2 standard. Valuation assertion is satisfied. IFRS 13 fair value treatment is also satisfied because last in first out old cost. Simple. So here assertions are not directly tested. So someone asks, do we need to study standard? For audit risk you need standard. Substantive procedures also you need standard. Understood? Students understood? Understood? Copy this, mark this as important. Did you practice questions from this category? No. Mark it. I'll do. All these category questions I'll do. Shall I give you one case study? Write down. Under this category, we'll do one question. Write down. Rifki work as accountant. At ABC Associates. Rifki work as accountant at ABC Associates. Audit client Amal PLC. Audit client Amal PLC. Year end. December 2023. 31st December 2023. Financial period highly competitive financial period highly competitive and entity reduced its selling price significantly. High level of advertisement campaigns. High levels of advertisement campaigns performed by entity. Okay, right. Question, only this paragraph. List down audit procedures over above matter. List down audit procedures over above matter. 3 marks. For 3 marks, how many procedures you should write? 3. If you get this type of question, students, I'll tell you how to approach. Okay. Before that, I'll give you 5 minutes time. Think and write your procedures in a different color. I'll start explaining from them. Okay. So these type of substantive procedures, you need to use your judgments, like audit risk. Try out. List down 3 audit procedures over above matter. 3 audit procedures over above matter. List down 3 audit procedures over above matter. Now the problem is, this is not an element of financial state. This is not an assertion of financial state, but the verb is audit procedures. Right? Don't get confused. When you get questions like this, think what is the standard explained here. What is the standard? Normally in your exam, most of the time, the standard explanation is very direct. Here it's very indirect. I gave in that way only. Fine. But most of the time it is direct. IFRS 15 revenue. Poor judgment. IAS 2 inventory. Inventory standard said cost or NRV, whichever is lower, should be selected. Yes or no? Cost is a conclusive figure. Cost is a conclusive figure. Cost include purchase price of the asset, conversion cost, any direct cost, production overheads. Production overheads not under marginal costing system, absorption costing system. Certain costs should be excluded. Storage cost, packing cost, abnormal losses. You might study it under process costing. Abnormal losses, any indirect cost, non-production. You can't include. That is one cost. Net realizable value is not a conclusive figure. It's an estimated figure. So estimated selling price minus estimated selling cost. Advertisement is an estimated selling cost. Selling cost is increasing. Selling price is decreasing. So there is a possibility net realizable value might be lesser than cost. So it's a possible mistake. You should perform procedures over inventory cost inventory. Yes or no? Technically here the question is inventory procedures. What is the assertion? Valuation is the assertion. Is my explanation understood? Students, is my explanation understood? Did you understood what I explained? Okay, wait. In this question, sir, isn't normal to reduce selling price when there is a competition? Yes, that will create a risk. Auditors should verify NRV. If you reduce your selling price, there is a risk of NRV. Right? See here, IAS 2 standard. It speaks about two things. One is cost, two is NRV. Whichever is lower should be selected. Whichever is lower should be selected. Cost, standard said includes, excludes, includes purchase price, include conversion cost, include production overhead, include direct cost, exclude abnormal loss, exclude indirect non-production overhead, net realizable value, it's an estimated value, estimated selling price minus estimated selling cost. This is we call net realizable value. Here in this case study, selling price is reduced significantly. Advertisement selling cost is increased significantly. So in this case study, I am telling there is a possible misstatement that inventory cost overstated. Inventory cost overstated. Yes or no? There is a possibility. You might recognize inventory at cost where NRV is lesser than cost. There is a possibility. So what I am telling is you need to perform procedures over this to confirm whether this is the case or not. This is the explanation for that question. Bashil understood? This is the extreme level of substantive procedures. Recent past papers, go and see, most of the questions are in this format. But shall I tell you one thing? Standard explanations are clearly given. This is like, I intentionally want to test your judgments. Here judgment matter. Right? Normally when they give, in the past paper, when they give this story, they will give one more line. At the year end, material inventory maintained by the organization. When you look at that word inventory, you can guess, this is an inventory standard. Right? I remove that word and I put. Is that clear? Now you all understand. This type of substantive procedures understood. I will put few questions in the method. Understood? Sir, marketing comes under cost of sales. It will be under operating expenses. It depends on the classification. Right? It depends on the classification. Right? That's why I told you it's a possible mistake. Is that clear? So this is marketing. Try to understand one thing. Common marketing expense is, yes, it's an operating expense. But for a product wise more advertisement, it's treated as cost of sales. Is that clear? For that particular product. Shall I give you procedures? Write down first procedure. I'll tell you the problem I explained. Now I give you solution also. Shall I tell you how to write procedure for this? If you identify the standard have one element called disclosure. Yes or no? Disclosure is a presentation. Disclosure is a presentation. Always write disclosure. Write down number one. For all these standard problems, write down this procedure. Without a doubt, you get 1 mark, minimum guarantee. So write down. Review financial statements. Review financial statements. Yusuf, understood? Okay. Review financial statements to check sufficient disclosures sufficient disclosures made to financial statements. Within bracket, write down, I'll give you assertion, presentation. Within bracket, no need to write this in your exam, just for reference I'm giving. Presentation. Understood? Number 2, perform market research. Or survey. Perform market research or survey to ensure net realizable value within bracket, write down fair value more than cost, which means marketable, still you can sell. Is that clear? This is also test of detail. Shall I give you an ARP? Write down this. You will never guess this. Write down. Perform inventory days and ensure these goods are sold within inventory days. Yes or no? Your inventory day is 30 days. This particular goods are available in the stock for last 6 months. What it means? You can't sell. I'm telling this iPhone, right? Maybe 500,000. How many of you all will buy? No one will buy. You know why? I should keep it in my home at least forever. Why? No one will buy because overstated. If you are not selling something, you are not able to sell something, it's overpriced. Receivable days, inventory days. Yeah. Don't write going concern here. Try to write procedures, because if it is a subsequent event, you can adjust. Fine. Presentation. Asmat, presentation. 4th one, write down. Perform detailed NRV test. Perform detailed NRV test, cost test to confirm inventory recognized cost or NRV, whichever is lower. Inventory recognized cost or NRV, whichever is lower. Don't try to write more procedures over cost here. The problem is towards NRV. Now don't write select a sample of purchase invoice to ensure purchase price is correct. That is cost. Here judgment matters. How are you going to grab the key issue? Is that clear? Understood? Students, how many substantive procedures I gave? Total questions, how many questions I gave? How many types of questions I gave? Should be 6. 5 or 6? 5 questions. Yes, 5 questions. Total 5 questions. Last 20 years past papers you take. If you find any question beyond these 5, try. I'll give you 5 million rupees. You got my point what I'm telling you? So I gave the question formats. Substantive procedures, if examiner want to test, he can test in these 5 ways only. For 5 ways we discuss questions. It's your duty to prepare for these 5 days, 5 days. This is how I'm going to do for all other papers, chapters, odds. Are you feel comfortable after today's session? At least you understood. Is it productive or did I confuse you all? Substantive procedures, understood? Right, Lavanya. With that, I'll stop for the day. We'll meet again when marathon Monday. Okay. Next Saturday, I will discuss one more topic, application topics. Okay. Thank you very much.